What's David Levy up to now? The man who was once president at Turner Sports and helped build the NBA media rights property for the company shares his next move in sports. Hello, everyone. I'm Jabari Young, senior writer here at Forbes. And in a minute, I will be talking to David Levy, the co-CEO of Horizon Sports and Experiences, the new marketing firm that he started with a friend. What he's doing at Genius Sports right now, why you should buy the stock, pickleball, RSN business, and more. David Levy, the man known throughout the cable business right now. Hey, listen, David, I want to start right fast with the news because obviously Diamond Sports Group, they filed for bankruptcy. Bally Sports, RSN business in turmoil right now. You were in this business running Turner Sports. What do you see? What's going on with the RSN?
The RSN front is just evolving and changing.
Yeah.
The business model for the RSNs, which was to extract on a market-by-market basis full distribution on the cable systems for a very high price, is a model that's broken. The world has changed. People now are going direct to consumer. People want to pay for what they want to watch. And a lot of these sports teams were getting paid in homes that weren't watching them.
Yeah.
And the data proved that out. And certainly COVID and everything else that happened accelerated a lot of the things that were going to happen anyhow. Meaning, if there was cord cutting, did cord cutting get accelerated because of COVID, because people staying home and having different viewing options like streaming services and things of that nature? So really, the RSN business is evolving. It's a flawed business as it stands today, and I think it's going to end up being more direct to consumer. Meaning, I think there'll be a direct consumer business, but there's got to be a hybrid between it fully going direct to consumer and still having the reach vehicle to make sure that you still have your next generation of fans. So the NBA still needs to market to the next generation of fans, just like the NHL and just like baseball. And I think there'll be some kind of hybrid, whether the MLB or NBA take ownership of the RSNs, or whether Bally Sports, which is going through a bankruptcy proceedings right now, get rid of their debt and fix their balance sheet, which will allow this evolving situation. But at the end of the day, listen, people want to watch what they want to watch and pay where they want to watch it. So if you're a Yankee fan and you live in California and you want to watch the Yankees, at some point we got to figure out a way to make them be able to watch the Yankees and have it be simple.
Yeah. So we're talking about ridding the blackout. No restrictions, no blackouts, no restrictions. Let people get, the games how they want.
Yeah, that'll ultimately get there, but there are people that own those rights and control those rights, and the people that don't control those rights do have other rights. I think it all has to end up being under one entity, whatever that entity may be, and control these blackout rights, footprint rights, and have access to games to the people who want them. And if you don't want access to the games, you shouldn't have to pay for them.
Absolutely. Now, listen, again, before switching to pickleball, because I want to know about that business model too. I've been hearing enough about it now. You got to explain it to me because I trust your judgment. But people I've been talking to, team execs over the past few days, they think that this is something serious because people are looking at the Bally situation, Warner Brothers, your former company, and you say, yes, they're going through some changes. But listen, you have ad rates that could be impacted, right? You have values of jersey patches, all those things, CBAs, because all that money's tied in, can be impacted. Sticking to the advertising front, with this RSN mess happening, do you anticipate any ad rates dropping within the NBA, MLB, NHL on a regional sports network front?
If it stays strictly where you continue to shrink your universe base, which ultimately will shrink ratings, then yes, of course, advertising will decrease. But if you can show that the audience is more engaged, bigger fan base, smaller audiences don't always mean smaller advertising. It's a question of the quality of the consumer itself and the data that you can actually extract from that consumer. Is that more valuable versus just pure reach? But certainly advertising is always based on reach and frequency and ratings. And so, if ratings continue to decline and you don't have a mechanism to show the strength of your consumer and the value of your consumer, then yes, advertising will decline.
Neil Pearson, our good friend, predicts a disaster. I say, Neil, are you serious? He said a disaster is coming, and I love Neil too. A disaster is coming because he sees CBAs, he sees lawsuits, he sees all that stuff having a impact, again, for the short term while they get over this rocky period. You predict the disaster?
I would say there's going to be a rocky period, which is where I think there's going to be very smart people, creative people will figure out how to bridge this next 3 to 5 years. Because, I'll use one example. Let's just use Pittsburgh as an example, since it's a smaller market. Let's say Pittsburgh, the Pirates had 1 million homes on their RSN, and they decided to go direct to consumer. Those 1 million homes that, let's say, were being paid $3 to $4 a home, okay, over those 1 million homes. Now it'll probably drop to 80,000, right? If it went purely direct to consumer. But those 80,000 would probably have to pay $50, $60 for those games. So they went from $3 to everybody to $50 for the 80,000 people, okay? So then to Neil's point, my God, well, we went from 1 million homes down to 80. Doesn't the ratings and the advertising and exposure for jersey patches and all of that? Yes. But on the other hand, those 80,000 are diehard Pittsburgh Pirate fans.
Yeah.
And what does that mean? And what's the data mean, right? And now we got to build over the next 3 to 5 years those 80,000 back up to 400, maybe 500, 1,000, which is half what it used to be. But again, now you're trading at $40 a sub or $50 a sub. And then you think about the leagues themselves. And so the leagues say, well, wait a minute, we still need reach to build that next generation of fans. Maybe they go back to local television and take 15, 20, 30 games of that, all those Pittsburgh Pirate games, and put them on a local television station going back years ago. Remember when all these games were on local television? Yeah. And all of a sudden, local TV is the reach vehicle.
Yeah.
Right? And that's where the advertising, and you package the local TV with the direct-to-consumer package, and then as you build the direct-to-consumer, you can pull more games back off. The data gets richer. But there's going to be this bridge of the next 3 to 5 years, and what it does, that was just one example. I'm sure there's many different examples. Maybe the RSNs stay healthier a little bit longer after this balance sheet correction through bankruptcy. But what we're all going to be able to say is there is going to be change in the RSN business. The model is broken, and it's yet to be determined of what the solutions are.
Yeah, I can't wait to see how it pans out. Really, I love the chaos. I really do. But listen, your phone should be banging. Your phone should be ringing off the hook, right? Horizon Sports and Entertainment Horizon Sports and Experiences. Tell me about this marketing firm, because listen, David, you have your hands in a lot of stuff, right? You're in television. You help build Bleacher Report. You're in Genius Sports. The list goes on and on and on. Rain Group, articles, like it goes on. Your hand is in everything. And now we got this new marketing agency that you're helping to build as co-CEO. What is it going to do? How does it differ from all the other ones?
Yeah. So my partner, Chris Wild, we're co-CEOs with one of our largest investors. Our third partner is Bill Koenigsberg from Horizon. But HS&E is a spin out from Horizon Media. We're a separately holding company. And Chris and I's vision for this is really threefold. So the old company, Scout, which is one of the companies that was spun out into this new HS&E, was very strong in data and analytics. Jersey patches with leagues, teams, our clients like Petco and PayPal and Mohegan Sun, all of them. We analyze all their sports sponsorships. We create new ideas. We negotiate with teams and leagues for them. So that business is going to stay. But what we're building on top of that, the three pillars that we are focused on, is experiential, both in the metaverse and in real life, and activation, which Chris, my partner, came from Momentum, which is the largest experiential agency in the world, which just recently won Agency of the Year. So having him manage that side of that pillar is phenomenal. We're also in the creation and ownership of IP. And out of the gate, we created this new event called the Pickleball Slam, which we can talk about in a minute. But we also are partners in 2 college basketball tournaments, one called the Legacy Classic, we're ownership group with Endeavor and Michael B. Jordan, and the Prudential Center is another partner in that one. And we also have the another basketball event called Never Forget, which is focused on never forgetting 9/11 tournament that is on Fox. And then the third pillar, after ownership of IP and creation of IP, is media consulting, which I have a pretty good background in my 33 years at Turner Broadcasting and negotiating media rights. And
not pretty good, an excellent background. Don't sell yourself short. It's an excellent background.
And sales.
Yeah.
We started a new sales arm in this company where I think that makes the flywheel. If we can understand experiential and activation and ownership of IP, then of course we should be able to sell all those properties. And that's basically the 3 pillars, and it sits on top of data analytics. And yes, the phones have been ringing off the hook, and we've have a lot of good opportunities and hopefully a few good announcements coming out in the next couple of weeks.
And well, you make sure you leak them exclusively to Forbes. That's all. Hey, listen. Pickleball Slam. It's in Hollywood, Florida. First of all, great location. Everybody loves Florida. It seems like all the billionaires are going down there now, right? State taxes, no state taxes down there. But Pickleball Slam, $1 million's on the line. You got some key legends that will be participating in it. John McEnroe, Andy Roddick. And you got a TV partner already. Listen, Live Golf has been trying to get TV partners, and they finally found one. Maybe not that good. You just come out, get the Pickleball Slam, land ESPN. How did you do it? What about this tournament that's taking place on April 2nd?
Great question. Thanks for asking it. We created this, in that ownership of IP, Chris and I were thinking about what areas do we really want to see if we can get ourselves, our feet wet in. And Formula One was one we were definitely, and we're still interested in, talking to a bunch of different people, how to get into the Formula One and the growth here in the U.S. With Soccer World Cup coming here in 2026, I think there's going to be big opportunity in that space, and how do we work within the soccer space, football space. We obviously love golf, and we think there's still opportunity there. And then we both said pickleball. Yeah. Pickleball is the fastest growing sport here in the U.S. Everybody seems to be playing it. I've heard figures anywhere from 9 million people to 36 million people playing it, depending on what article you read. We all know it's growing fast. Anecdotally, you can see it. Basketball courts here in New York are being taken over by pickleball courts. Tennis seems to be disrupted, thinking that these tennis courts are now being changed into pickleball courts. So you are seeing a whole new mantra, if you will, of this growth in pickleball. So, but what's interesting is nobody really knows who the professional pickleball players are. And if you dig deep, meaning the names, you dig deep, they're really the best pickleball players in the world who are ranked are ex-tennis players. So the idea that came out pretty quickly between Chris and I was saying, hey, wait a minute. Why don't we just take the best racket players in the world and put them in a $1 million purse in pickleball, the largest growing sport in America, and take the best names, the fastest growing sport, and put them in $1 million purse live on ESPN at the Hard Rock Casino in Florida, which is one of the biggest growth areas for pickleball. And I called the Hard Rock Casino up. Listen, we literally did that the second day we announced our company. We came up with this idea. I called down to the Hard Rock. They were immediately interested, and we did a 5-event deal with them, in fact. So this is the first of 5 with the Hard Rock. We called ESPN, my friend Jimmy, and asked if he'd have any interest. And the date that we wanted was, and based on some of the knowledge that I know about the Sunday between the semifinals and finals of March Madness, it happens to be sort of a opening day. Although this year, which I think is fabulous, that the women's tournament, the finals of the women's tournament is actually Sunday night.
Right.
So we are kind of a lead-in to the women's finals of March Madness.
Nice.
And then the men's finals is on Monday. So you have the semifinals of the men's NCAA on Saturday, the Pickleball Slam Sunday at 12 noon to 2. Then you have the pregame for the NCAA women's tournament, and then the women's finals tournament that Sunday. And then Monday is the men's finals. So action-packed weekend. Lots of people watching TV and watching sports. And we're smack in the middle on ESPN, hopefully being widely promoted and marketed, which I just got off the phone with them, and they're ecstatic about this opportunity. And love the names and love the brands.
Yeah. I'm assuming that it's an ad share type of a rev share type of deal?
Nope. We control all the inventory.
Wow.
Yep. And
so is it a media rights deal, or is it, how is it structured?
I'm not going to give all the financials on it, but we did not do a time buy with ESPN. No.
Okay. What can you tell us about that particular relationship?
Well, I hope to, again, hopefully this is successful. I think the competition is going to be great and very competitive. These four guys are extremely competitive. So, it's all fun and games until once you get, I did this kind of idea with golf back in 2018 with the match.
That's right, the match.
On Turner with Tiger and Phil Mickelson playing for $9 million at Shadow Creek. And it's the same type of situation. Tiger and Phil were sort of friendly, but as soon as the competition came out, boom, they started focusing and wanted to win. And that's what's going to happen here.
Yeah. Pickleball is going through a momentum. I think it's still, that momentum is still high. And during the pandemic, obviously, I started hearing about it more and more and more. And now the post-pandemic, you start to hear about it more and more and more. I run into David Blitzer. Apparently, he gets up every morning to play it, and I'm like, wow, okay, is it like that? But what do you tell the person that says pickleball ain't nothing but just tennis in disguise?
Listen, I think they're all going to coexist. I don't think tennis is going away. Tennis is still, on a global basis, one of the largest sport that's still gambled on and bet on a global basis. It's in the United States, it's growing here. So when you bet on a sport, you're 98% more likely to watch.
Yeah.
So I don't think tennis is going away. And I think they're all going to be able to coexist. This is a sport that has a very good social aspect if you want to play it socially because you're closer and you can talk. The court is much smaller. In fact, you can fit 4 pickleball courts onto one tennis court.
Wow.
If you're a really good tennis player playing a not so good tennis player, it's not a very good experience. But if you're a really good pickleball player playing somebody that's not so experienced, you can still have a competitive match. There's still volleys and rallies that can happen. So there's a little bit more opportunity to play a wider range of people. And both men and women seem to like it. So it's not just a men's sport or just a women's sport. It's actually a coexisting men and women's sport. So I think that's where all the growth is coming from. And I think they can all coexist. And there's other things. There's paddleball, there's racquetball. But this is very, in the health conscious times that we're all in, I think people want to get out and stay healthy, and this is one way to do it.
Yeah. What's the business model? Like, what do you see from how this can make money? Like, how can pickleball make money? Is it the same as any other sport from ticketing and media rights and licensing, or is it a different one because it's a small growing sport?
Yeah, great question. And we're in the first inning of hopefully a long game.
Yeah.
For us, and the way we see it here at HS&E is on Friday and Saturday, we're hosting an amateur event. The amateur event has 200 people. We have 2 different divisions. There's a thing called a duper rating. A duper rating is sort of like a handicap rating, like in golf, and you get rated in duper. And so there are 2 different divisions. There's an 8.0 duper division and a 10.0, which means the combined 2 people on the court, your partner, have to equal an 8.0 or a 10.0 and under. And each of those amateur divisions, the winner's going to win $10,000 and then get to play against 2 of the legends. So not only do you win money and get to play competition on Friday and Saturday, but you also get to see whether you can beat the greatest legends in tennis at pickleball.
Yeah.
So that's Friday and Saturday. And I think that opportunity to understand the data set from all these amateurs, get to understand what they do, what they like, and do many amateur tournaments. We're going to build the amateur slam, and we can have those in any city, in any market. And I'm sure advertisers and sponsors are going to want to be a part of touching those kind of people and those active people. And on top of that, we have the slam itself. And as I said, we have 5 different events with the Hard Rock. We probably could go to Vegas with them. We can go to Nashville with them. We can go to Atlantic City with them. We can even come to New York. They have a hotel here in New York as well. So there's different cities, different markets we can bring the slam to. Hopefully we can get different people like the Williams sisters maybe to play in it. Hopefully to get Nadal or Federer to play in it. So there's many, many different ways to continue to build out the slam aspect. But in the slam aspect, you get ticket sales. That's exactly right. Merchandising sales. We have a 5,000 seat arena at the Hard Rock Live that we're selling right now. Ticket sales are good, and we have the next 2 weeks to try to sell out the arena, which I hope we will. And there's ticket revenue, merchandising revenue, and then sponsorship revenue. We have 2 sponsors, presenting sponsors, Hard Rock being one and Subway being the second. We have 2 more that we hope to announce hopefully at the end of this week. So we have our sponsorship sales, our ticket sales, our merchandising sales, and then our amateur event. So different ways to generate revenue and keep excitement in the sport growing.
Because you've been around so long, is it easy you just pick up the phone and say, hey, Subway, I need a sponsor. Jimmy, I need some airtime. Like, is it that easy?
I wish it was.
You made it sound that easy, man. You made it sound like it was just, we have this guy, we got some more coming. Like, it's sounding like the business is there, and because you built so many good relationships over the past, like you're having no problem bringing them into your vision.
Listen, I always said if you can speak the concept and have people get it under 30 seconds, it's going to be pretty easy to sell, or it's going to be pretty easy to have people want to be a part of it, right? If you have to explain something for 5-6 minutes, you probably don't have the right idea. This was a pretty simple idea. People got it very, very quickly. And that's why, within 2 days after announcing our company, we had this basically up and running. And, we officially announced our company in November, and we kind of came out with this event on January 18th. So it's not been that long. The announcement was January 18th, and this event is on April 2nd.
Yeah.
So we're hustling around. We're learning. One aspect of the event I forgot to mention, though, I think it's interesting, is we are doing a charity angle for this event.
Beautiful.
We're giving McEnroe, Agassi, Roddick, and Chang $25,000 each to start off at the event. And then there'll be a lot of internal betting going on while the match is happening. The announcers, which is Foley and Pat McEnroe, are going to be the play-by-play and announcing team. They're going to be able to talk while the players are on the court and get some bets going. And then at the end of all that money will go to charity, depending on which charity each of the players choose.
Nice. A quick recap of your career, David. You went to Syracuse, right? 1986. You started at Turner Sports. 1986. Yeah, that's about 3 years after I was.
You had to say that out loud, didn't you?
Yeah, because listen, 1986. That was 3 years after I was born. You know what I mean? So yeah. I'm up there with you, man.
Ouch.
I'm up there. And then you have this terrific career at Turner where you climb the ranks, able to oversee the NBA property, again, build Bleacher Report out, and so many other properties you mentioned in Match. Is there something that you learned as the David Levy of Turner Sports, running Turner Sports as president, that you still utilize today to get the business done?
One of the easiest things to do is to treat people the way you want to be treated, and you'll be very successful. So, if you hire somebody and you want them to do their job, let them do their job, because that's how you would want it, right? You wouldn't want somebody to be watching over you every second of every day. So treat people the way you want to be treated, and you'll be very successful. I use that all the time. Inject humor into your life. Humor makes everything a little bit easier, and people like to laugh. We all have hard jobs, and injecting a little humor here and there is not so bad either. And I use those 2 philosophies pretty well.
Yeah.
And the rest seems to just make it happen.
Yeah, I have a man at the bar joke.
And surround yourself with really smart people.
That too. That's why I'm talking to you, right? I had to make time for you. I went through 95 traffic to get here because I'm like, no, David Levy wants to talk. I'm going to talk. Anytime you, Neil Pilson, pick up, I will talk. But you're right. Inserting humor into your life daily is good. I have a joke book that's on my coffee table, and from time to time, I just look at it just to get a laugh out. You never know what that can do to your day. But you spoke about pitching in 30 seconds, and I'm glad you said that. In 30 seconds, tell me why I should buy stock in Genius Sports.
Because Genius Sports is first of all, I think the sports betting space is going to continue to grow.
Yeah.
I think it's in a very, very early stage. And Genius Sports is not a sports book. It's actually a data technology company that collects sports data and live sports streams from all the leagues, creates packages, and really what Genius is a toll collector. We sell these packages agnostically to any sports book, so we don't participate in the marketing and trying to get referrals and anything of that nature. That's not our business. Okay, our business is owning the sports streaming and data, repackaging and selling it to sports books, and then collect a piece of every bet.
Yeah.
And so when you're a toll collector, that's a good business to be in. We have two other businesses that I think which I think are going to continue to grow. We recently acquired Second Spectrum. And Second Spectrum is the gamification and personalization of content. So if you watch RomoVision, that's Second Spectrum. If you watch the Nickelodeon overlay of the gamification of the Super Bowl with exploding touchdowns and all those, that's Second Spectrum. If you watched the Next Generation feed on Amazon, where it looked like actually a video game, where you can see the receiver's path and where they're running and the names of the players that are sitting underneath them and the circle that goes around them in real time. That's Second Spectrum. So Second Spectrum is a key part of collecting data and also giving a personalization and a gamification of the sport itself.
Yeah, that was longer than 30 seconds, but I'm gonna let you have that one though. Okay, you said 30 seconds.
That's why I invest in Genius.
Hey, listen, one other business that you are and were involved in, and we mentioned it before, but because we're talking about big companies, publicly traded companies, what do you see from your former employer, Warner Brothers Discovery? They're going through some changes, but listen, I'm a subscriber to HBO Max. I love the product. I'm always going to be there because they have a terrific IP. I don't know what their role in sports is, but if they brought you in the room for advice, right, because you're a Horizon Sports and Experiences now, this is what you do, and they say, hey, how do we move forward? And you've been there. What do you tell them?
I'd have to listen. I'm a big believer in Zasloff. He's a friend, and listen, he's sitting on top of incredible assets, and if he can't figure it out, I don't know anybody that could. I certainly like to help them if he'd like, but I'd have to go in and understand where they are. I haven't been in that company in 3 years, so I'd have to do some digging before I gave any real advice right now. But I'm sure David has a great handle on those great assets, and he'll figure it out. Yeah,
tell him to call you, man. I mean, listen, you for hire, right? This is what your company does, marketing, right? Strategy, marketing. Just tell him to call you.
I'm here if he needs me.
There you go. Pickleball Slam, April 2nd. David, thank you so much for the time, man. I hope to have you back. It's always good catching up with you. Congratulations on Horizon Sports and Experiences. I'm rooting for you guys as always because you are. And I guess I could tell companies if y'all are looking for a marketing agency to hit you up, right?
There you go.
Yeah, you want to give out your email like Mark Cuban does, or keep that to yourself?
What was that?
You want to give out your email about like Mark Cuban do, or you want to keep that to yourself?
No. I'm all good with emails.
Okay.
Man. People can find me. I'm not worried about people finding me.
Yeah,
it's all good. I love your new studio set. Keep it going. Have a great weekend and enjoy March Madness. I this time of year I smile all the time. The deal I did with Sean McManus. And putting the CBS and Turner companies together to create this Picasso that people are watching. It's always nice to see people enjoy what we created back in 2010. So
I love
enjoy the madness.
I love it. Go put the plug. Say, I brought that there. Y'all go enjoy it. I love it. Go flaunt. Go flaunt. David, thank you much for the time. I appreciate it. And good luck with the pickleball.